Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, it is so awesome to be back with you guys. Well, here we are. It's Tuesday. I know I'm getting this out late, but by the way, look where I am. Do y'all recognize the setting here? I'm back at Mom's house. That's right. So I came down to take care of her house and be with Grizzly. She's going to be soon coming home. It looks like she got approved for release. They have to finish off a little bit of therapy with her for some of her home skills, like they put you through occupational therapy. She is doing great, and they're letting her come home on the weekend. So she'll be home this weekend, and we'll have her during our spiritualist class. You'll get to see her. And I'm so glad you're here. I tell you, I'm sorry to get this out late. Psych Bob's had a really intense day. As many of you know, I have been suffering through electronic harassment. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. I am a targeted individual, and I'm really injured. I may have to go get medical help. It's been pretty bad and pretty severe. So I'm having a lot of pain throughout my whole body, and they've hit me very hard. Anyways, that's a long story. I want to go into all that, but luckily I have been praying a lot. I've been wearing my lucky Buddha pendant. By the way, I think I showed this. Some of you who were at yesterday's video saw this. But this is one of my favorite Buddhas. It's a 1950s jade charm, and it's the Lucky Buddha. And he's the big, happy, laughing Buddha. You see this Buddha a lot in the Chinese restaurant. And I did a video all about the laughing Buddha. And if you go to my channel, just do a search within the channel videos, and you can find that. But I had to show you, since I was traveling, I've been working with the Buddha lately for spiritual blessing, not just really for money. A lot of people pray to him for money. I don't really pray to him for money. I pray to him because he gives me joy and he gives me hope. And when my targeting is really bad, the smiling face of the laughing Buddha, whose name is Buddha in Chinese or Hote in Japanese, makes me feel joyful, and it makes me get the energy to keep going. And so I was praying to him earlier today, so I had the energy to come here and do this video. This is one that I brought. This is the Buddha Hotai. Hotai takes many forms, by the way, and depending on what he's carrying, it'll tell you what his purpose is. This is Hotai, who is a traveling Buddha, and he has his traveling bag here over his shoulder and his magical bag that he carries money in. And this Buddha used to go to towns and villages where there was poverty, and he would reach into his bag and suddenly make rice appear to feed the whole village. And he used to have toys and candies for children, and he was amazing. There's a lot of history about this Buddha. And it's interesting because in Buddhism, he's considered a form of the Buddha. He's the Maitreya Buddha, which is the Buddha of the future, but he made a kind of a pre-appearance in this form. And he represents prosperity and joy and spiritual blessings, spiritual wealth, not just material wealth, but he also brings material blessings too. And in the Taoist religion, the ancient Chinese Taoist religion, as well as in Japanese Shinto, he's considered a god. So I kind of think of him as a god form, and he's one of my gods, and he brings me a lot of joy. He gives me hope. When I'm really tired and I feel like I'm just dragging, I pray to him. So this is my travel Buddha, which I thought you'd like. And then I have another one. I have been collecting Buddhas for years. I have literally probably 60 or 70 Buddhas, maybe more. This is one that's beautiful. It looks like it's made out of jade. I think it has jade powder. It's a kind of a resin jade mix. But look at his face. He's so joyful. Isn't he great? I just love him. Look at his big fat belly. And the tradition is you rub the Buddha's belly and you get good luck. So I just love this. This is one of my favorite Buddha statues, and I brought that with me as well because he just makes me happy. Now see, over his neck here, that's his bedroll. Because in the old days, people would bring like futon type sort of things with them, and they would roll them up and carry them on their shoulders. So that's his bedroll. So wherever he goes, he can roll his bedding mat and sleep. And I love that. So since I'm traveling, I thought I would bring these forms of Hote or Buddha, whichever form you want to call him. And because he's traveling since I'm traveling. Anyway, I had to share that with you today because it's really helped me get through what has been a challenging day. The other thing that gets me through a challenging day is being here with you. And I don't care even if I'm tired and it's late, I still want to spend time with you guys because you mean a lot to me. I really feel like all of you are family, and I thank you for your love and your support. So we're going to do our messages. And for those of you who are new here, this is a video that we do every Tuesday. It's called Messages from the Spirit World. And this is where I grab a bunch of letters from people who write into me, and I answer their letters and do little mini psychic readings. Now, there's no cost to be in this video. Just put your question in the comment box below, or you can write to me at my official email, readings@robert-hickman.com. Again, that link will be in the box below this video, okay? Now, I just have to tell you up front, I get hundreds of letters a week, so please forgive me if I don't personally sit down and write to everybody. It's not that I don't care. It's more than I can do, but I do read. Honestly, I read every single letter. So if you've written to me, know that I have read your letter, and I pray for all of you, okay? And every night I do my ritual of the holy offering, the libation, with the sacred chalice, and all of you are included, okay? So now, before we get into this, also, I got to say, for those of you who are new here, I am a full-time professional psychic medium. And if you want to have more Psychic Bob than maybe you can get here, you can have a private session with me. Now, I do charge for private sessions, and my website link will be below this video. It's robert-hickman.com, so definitely check that out. And be part of, consider investing. I always say a private reading is an investment in yourself. And a private reading is you and me, one-on-one for an hour. And we cover everything. We cover past issues, present issues, future issues, past lives, messages from spirit guides. I identify who surrounds you in spirit. I bring messages from deceased loved ones. We look at your life mission, what you're here for, and I also answer any of your questions. So those of you who have sat with me, you get a lot in the hour, and I would greatly enjoy the opportunity to have a private session with you. So I still have a few openings for this upcoming week, this week, and also next week if you want to get on. So give me a call at my office. And again, these links will be below, 571-483-2112. Anyways, let's jump into the letters here, okay? Now, I want to say thank you to all you've been writing. Oops, I got to put on my glasses. Oh, yes, I know. I hear Fletcher Becker. He said you have an attune problem. All right, so let's all take a moment. I can't get away with anything with this guy. And let's attune to the spirit world. Okay. Yes, Fletcher, thank you so much. All right, well, let's jump into our letters. Okay, our first letter today is from Shadowlander. And Shadowlander writes and says, Dear Bob, do you see me starting a musical career either with a band or my own solo music artist within the next 5 years? May the sounds of the universe guide you. Hi, Shadowlander. Wonderful question. I have to tell you, you do have an artist theme on your chart. And I do feel like your talent is in the area of music. I keep seeing music production around you, so I'm not sure if you mean producing music or performing, but I feel like you're better in the area of music production, and that's where I'm seeing success for you. I actually see you connecting with somebody. There's going to be a connection. It won't be until around the end of this year, around December, but it looks like you're making a connection with somebody that's connected to the music industry, literally out of California, out of Los Angeles, Hollywood. And I feel like they're saying, well, show me what you got. And I feel like there's some, I don't know if it's like a collection of tracks or something you've pre-recorded that have been sitting around for a while. Don't throw those out, because I feel like there's something that you create that's unique that's going to open doors for you. So I feel like by the end of this year, around December, you're going to make a connection. I would encourage you to pursue it, okay? Hope that helps. Thanks for rating. All right, our next question is from Billy Mayer. And Billy writes, says, Psychic Bob, I want to communicate and meet with the Sasquatch race. Is this a good idea, or would it be dangerous for me to connect with them? Billy, I have to tell you, I don't think that's a good idea. Now, I'm always one saying if we attune to the aliens, we'll make a connection. But remember this, not all aliens are enlightened, advanced beings. The Sasquatch race is actually, how do I say this? They're kind of like in the cosmos, pre-evolutionary. Okay, you know how humanity was kind of like Neanderthal man before it evolved into modern Homo sapien. Well, on other planets, that evolution is ongoing, and the Sasquatch race are not particularly highly evolved. In fact, I don't think you'd be able to communicate with them, even if you could make a psychic connection. People who have encountered the Sasquatch, and you need to study the case history, it's been pretty scary stuff. Most of them are kind of aggressive. They wreck campsites. They smash out windows in homes when they come into this plane. See, this is part of the thing is, and you already understand this, they're interdimensional. I believe that some of the incidences with the Sasquatch have occurred because UFOs have kind of had them on board, kind of like captured animals, and on some cases they've gotten loose. They got out of their cages and got onto Earth. And this is what's accounting for this. Now, I also believe this is interdimensional, so some of them are coming through portals. Because, see, the Earth has a lot of open portals, and this goes way back thousands of years to Lemuria and Atlantis. So creatures do come through occasionally, and the Sasquatch are not an evolved race. They're not enlightened. They're almost literally animalistic. They're a little above animals in that they can do things like make tools, and they walk upright, and they have traits that are, how do I say it, almost like human or Homo sapien, but they're not mentally there yet. And I would discourage trying to bring them through. I think you could end up having a very scary experience. There was an experience, you might want to look this up. A lot of people haven't read about this, but there was a medium in the 1920s called Franz Kluski. I believe that's his name, Kluski. He was out of Poland. And he did a seance, and he was noted for wild creatures coming into his seance. And there's actually a seance from the 20s where an ape-like creature that was furry came in and grabbed people. And it was pretty terrifying. And people that came out of that seance said they must never go back because the creature was clearly visible. And it was a horrific-looking monster, like a half-human, half-ape. It was not an enlightened being. And I believe that he brought through a Sasquatch. And this was at the time before, this is in the early 1900s, maybe 1920s, early 20s, before it was really common phenomena. Like it is today in pop culture we know about. But back then nobody knew about it. So when it came through, nobody knew what it was. But I've studied those transcripts of that seance, and I believe that's what happened. So I'm going to discourage you from going in. Good question, though. I think that's a great, great question. You always ask good questions. Thank you. All right, our next letter is from Jeffrey Richard. Hey, Jeffrey. Jeffrey and I met first. I think we met over on Instagram. By the way, I need to get my Instagram going. For those of you who follow me, I will be working on that soon. Anyways, Jeffrey, good to see you. And he's on YouTube now. Jeffrey says, Bob, I feel like I am losing connections with people and also with myself. I used to feel very strong spiritual energy, but now I feel that something is blocking the connection. How do I get out of this rut? Thank you. Blessings, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I have to tell you, when I step into your vibration, I get an interesting kind of paradox energetically. I'm getting a band of dark blue light around you. And then I get a band of bright red light. But then I get the most intense purple and magenta. And what this is psychically, what this tells me is that you are blocked. Dark blue means that you maybe be struggling with a little depression or anxiety. Red light is frustration. And I feel like one of the things that's happening right now is that you're pressing yourself in some way to be more, be better, be more present. That's not what you want to do. Let me just kind of clarify. You're at a point of transition here. When I look at your aura, you've got immense purple light around you. This does tell me that you're opening psychically. But the thing is that a lot of the people right now that are around you are not opening psychically. And because you also have an empathic ability, which you do, you have two shades of purple. You got a lavender purple and a royal purple. Lavender is empathic gifts. This tells me that you're absorbing energy from people, and I don't say this in a snobby way, but they're not as evolved. They're good people. I'm not saying they're bad people, but you're feeling a kind of a weird disconnect because your energy's up here and you're trying to reach people that are a little lower. Now, again, don't take that in a snobby way. This is not a judgment like, oh, they're beneath you. It's nothing like that. It's simply an energy fluctuation. One of the things that I want you to do is, because your energy is so expansive, I kind of feel like you're in psychic overdrive. This is overstimulating your nervous system. It's also making you have anxiety issues, which it's ironic. It's like when you open psychically, sometimes it produces anxiety, and then the anxiety shuts down what's happening. So you have a yo-yo effect. This is why you're feeling disconnected. What I'd like you to work on is doing a lot more grounding. It's not so much an issue of trying to reach people or be psychically connected. Don't worry about feeling that connection. The connection comes from the heart chakra, but right now your energy is pushing you down into the emotional chakra and then the base. I do have to ask you, you don't have to answer here, but I'll just tell you, I feel that you have had some issues in the past with depression. Sometimes depression also creeps in and can block our psychic connection. So that may be something you want to work with your physician about. But the thing is, I want you to ground down your energy. And one of the ways to do this, you want to do an aura bath. Okay, so we're in a hot water bath. Put in there sea salt, half a cup of sea salt, and half a cup of baking soda as you're pouring the bath. This will cleanse your aura every day. I would do this, not every day, but 2 or 3 times a week. Okay. The other thing is, I want you to get the gemstone, if you can, brown agate. Brown agate is a wonderful protection stone. It's a traditional witch's stone. It grounds energy, and it also protects you. Because I feel like you're taking on everybody's energy. You're kind of an open circuit. I'd also like you to not only wear that kind of around your chain on your neck if you can, brown agate. And then I want you to work on going through your chakras and closing them down. Now that doesn't shut down your power. It shields you from taking on more, because until you've got the energy around you that's grounded, you don't want to take more on. And I think that once you do this, this is going to kind of balance it out. I also feel, and I have to be honest with you, Jeffrey, I feel like you're crossing through a time where there are new people entering your life. And I feel there are going to be new friendships, particularly when we get in the month of October. I feel October, November. And you may find that some of your friends that you feel disconnected from may further drift. Don't take that as a rejection of you. This is all about an energy transition, and we all go through this where, we may have friends for 20 years, and as we open psychically and we raise our power, sometimes there is a sense of we're both moving on. And don't fight that moving on, because that is a necessary transition. So I don't see you being alone or feeling disconnected from people much longer. I think once we work with that energy flow, that's going to help you. Okay. I hope that this gives you a little insight and a little help. Okay. And I'm sending blessings to you. Okay. Definitely get brown agate, start with that, and do the spirit paths. Good question. All right. Oh, all of my pages are stuck here. Okay. Our next question is from Megan. Hello, Megan. Megan's new here to my channel. She's great. I'm so glad you're here, Megan. You always are so kind. Write the best questions and comments. Megan writes, says, Dear Bob, you have such a beautiful and peaceful energy. Thank you for your videos. Oh, you are so kind. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. It's not hard to have peaceful energy when you're surrounded by high energy people like my channel draws. So y'all bless me as much as I bless you. Thank you, Megan. If I may ask, can you tell me tell me about my higher purpose? Thank you so much, Megan. Hi, Megan. I have to tell you in all honesty, when I step into your frequency, this is very interesting. You have an artist energy around you. I also pick up a leadership energy around you. And I feel like the spirit world, it's interesting because I think when I step into your energy, you feel more reclusive, like you're a mystic. But the world is kind of going to put you in a place where you're much more visible in the world. And I see you being okay with that. I feel the next 2 years this will make a lot more sense to you. You also have an artist theme, and I feel like you're very gifted in communication and expression. And what's interesting when you talk about your higher purpose, these are your life themes, but your real higher purpose, you ready for this? Is to be a mystical traveler. And if you don't know what that is, we're doing a class every Saturday. You might have been in our last one. Forgive me, I can't remember. I get hundreds of people there. But we're doing a class on mystical traveler. So I want you to go back and look at my Saturday seance videos because I'm teaching a series on the mystical traveler. And I feel that you are here, believe it or not, to be a person of influence and change. You know, mystical travelers, a lot of times in their earlier life, want to just be hidden and in the background. But once they become a mystical traveler, like they end up becoming much more public. And I see you becoming kind of a leader, an inspirer, a teacher. It's like a spiritual teacher, honestly. And I feel like you're here to do great things. I see you helping poor people. I see you being a voice for downtrodden. I think you're going to be very involved in the future in nonprofit work, in charity works, educational works. So you have a big future ahead of you. In the next 2 years, you'll really see that manifest more fully. Anyways, I hope that gives you a little insight. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Blessings to you. All right, our next letter is from April Simpson. Hello, April. April writes this. Hi, Bob. My sister's husband died in a tragic accident over a month ago. Oh, I'm so sorry. So that was your brother-in-law. She went to a medium to contact him. The medium made contact with him, but said that for him being in the spirit world was scary. Can you find out if he, which is her brother-in-law, is adjusting better now after a few weeks ago? Thank you so much. I appreciate you and what you do. Hi, April. Well, first, I'm very sorry for your loss. It's interesting because a lot of times when people first cross over, there's a lot of disorientation. And I feel that when he crossed, it was like he kind of got literally jarred out of his body. I'm getting a lot of like intense, like sudden boom, like he went. And when that happens, especially if people haven't done a lot of spiritual preparation, they don't bring them right into the full light. And I'm going to be honest here, I don't say this to sound critical, but I have to tell you, I feel like this brother-in-law, though he was a nice man, he had not put a lot of energy into his spiritual growth. And I feel like for him, you know, the greatest thing that they do is they kind of put you in a holding place. He was in a kind of a purgatorial realm when she first contacted him. I see it kind of a gray, misty area. There was some light coming in, but it's actually, you know, he interpreted it as scary, but it actually wasn't meant to be scary. It was just that he couldn't figure out how he got there because he was still disoriented. Now, I don't see him in that area anymore. He has crossed over into the light. But what they did is they allowed him to be there just to settle down. Because, see, once you cross over into the light, you get everybody to greet you. And I keep getting a lady on his mother's side. I don't know if it was his mother or grandmother. There was another lady that came to take him over. And so that was very exciting for him. And I feel like, you know, they had to slowly de-escalate his anxiety. So they put him in that kind of misty place. And that's what it is. It's like when you go over there, kind of what we call holding stations. And for some, but not everybody, but some people go to a holding station. And you can think of it as kind of like a train station. You know, when you go to a train station, and I've been traveling on train stations, so I was thinking about this earlier. When you're at a train station, you're waiting. It's kind of, you know, it's not really fun. You're waiting, you're watching, you like want to get going, especially when you're a traveler, like, you know, like me, I got all my suitcase and luggage. I just want to go. But I can't go until the train comes or until they say I'm allowed to board the train. The train might come and I still might stand there and wait until they say, okay, now you can board. This is what it's like for some people when they cross over. It's a waiting place. It's a little frustrating. It's annoying. And if you don't fully get the full experience of why you're there, it would be scary. But it's not actually meant to torture. He's not evil or in hell or anything like that. It was just he was waiting. And it was unpleasant because it made him feel frustrated. And he was scared because he didn't know, it's not what he expected. He kind of believed that when he died, he'd go straight to heaven and see God, but it doesn't really work that way. A lot of people go to the waiting station, then they're gradually introduced into the spirit world. And slowly, like, people come to meet them, and then eventually, when they're settled, it might take a few months, then they're allowed to go up to the Godhead. So not everybody goes straight into God's light. And that doesn't make them bad. It's just what they need for their journey and their growth. Because, see, the spirit world wants to protect us. They don't ever want to hurt us. So it was actually an act of mercy that he was in the holding place. And now he has crossed over into the light. And I do believe, as I said, it was a mother or grandmother, a female on that side, came to greet him. And I felt like when he went over, there was a bunch of animals also. So somebody in his family had a lot of animals. That I think it was when he was growing up, and he was greeted by a lot of animals, they showed me. He had dogs there and cats and, all sort of animals. So he went over. It was very joyful. I keep hearing, so hold on, Fletcher's saying something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he has a message for his wife. Hold on, let me see if we can. Okay, Fletcher's doing this. Fletcher said he's doing thumbs up, meaning, I got it, I made it. He's in the light. He wants to say that he loves all of you. He said, please tell her I'm fine. I love them. And he said, forgive me. He's asking you to tell his wife, please forgive him for giving that message through the medium. He said he didn't realize how intense it sounded. He said it wasn't intense time, but when he said he saw a light, but you see what happens is when they're in spirit world, the medium opens a door, it's like a window, and he could see the medium, and so he was literally shouting through that little, it was like a porthole, like, oh my God, where am I? It's scary. But really, after that portal closed, there were angels that came also to help explain to him, and then his grandmother, I believe it was, came over to get him on his mother's side. So he's over, and he says to tell you, thank you for your concern. Thank you for his wife's concern. He's sorry to upset y'all, but he's fine. He loves you all. Okay. I hope that helps. Please bring that to her. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. Oh my gosh, guys, I tell you, I don't know what time it is here. Anyways, now we come to the part of our show. This is something I added in the last year, just messages from the spirit world. It's called Spirit Shoutouts. Spirit Shoutouts are messages that I receive from my YouTubers, and they're not necessarily people who have written or asked a question. They may have just be somebody, writing a comment on my video. They might say, oh, Bob, I saw you teaching on this, and I just want to add this information for you. But sometimes when I'm reading their letters and comments, stuff comes through. So I keep a notepad and I write it down. So I got some spirit shout outs, okay? My first spirit shout out today is for Aaron Kemp. Hi, Aaron. Good to see you, darling. Listen, I'm getting little people buzzing around my head all day today. You got the spirit of the Fae around you. I'm not kidding. They're interesting because the ones I'm seeing, they're kind of like Tinkerbell. They're little, small, and they're zipping around. You may start to see the Fae around you, but you're being called to work with the Fae. They show you literally like walking through a garden, and I'm hearing like little voices call you, say, come and be with us, come work with us. So you definitely have the spirit of the Fae. I don't know if you've ever worked with them, but they're definitely drawn to you, and you might want to explore fairy magic or Fae magic, okay? The Fae are very powerful, and they'll help you, especially with your spiritual growth. And I feel like they're also connecting with you. There may be some issues around environmentalism or some type of work you're doing to kind of heal the earth or heal plants, but they're going to help you with work with plants and gardening and all of that. So explore fairy magic or Fae, F-A-E. Fairy can be spelled out many ways, F-A-E or F-A-F-E-Y or F-A-R-Y, F-A-E-R-Y. Anyways, look at it, you'll find it. Anyways, I had to bring that message to you. Thanks for being on my channel. Blessings. All right, my next spirit shout out is for Irina Dimitrik. Hi, Irina. Listen, I have this man. He's been talking to me this afternoon. You have a spirit guide around you. I think this is somebody who's new coming to work with you. He gave me the name of John. Hold on, I wrote it down here. John Bolstrom. B-O-L-S-T-R-O-M. I believe that's how it's spelled. Bolstrom. And he said that he was a medium during the 1600s. He was somehow connected to the British crown. I don't know if it was Queen Elizabeth I, or I'd find out who it was, but he just said, I was connected to the royal court. But John Bolstrom is the name, from 1600s. He said that you also had a past life during that period, and you yourself had a lot of psychic gifts. And he says he says literally, he said, I come in to help her awaken her gifts. She was very powerful in that time. Anyway, so your psychic power is opening, and you have a guide named John Bolstrom. Anyways, hope that helps. Thanks for being on my channel. Blessings to you. All right, our next spirit shout out is for Sarin. It's spelled Sahryn, Sarin. Sarin. I hope I'm saying that correct. Sarin, I have a message for you here. I have to tell you, when I stepped into your energy, I kept being shown that the months of August and September are spiritually powerful times for you. I was shown that you need to explore the turning of the wheel, which is the pagan wheel of the year, and that the spirit world is calling you to explore working more closely with the Lord and the Lady. And I would like to encourage you to research the upcoming Sabbats, which are pagan holidays, of Lammas, which is August 31st. Or no, wait, July, we just had, we're at Lammas. Oh, I've been traveling, I'm out of sorts. All right, so Lammas is today or tomorrow. I'm probably going to celebrate tomorrow, it's too late. And Mabon, which will be in September, the vernal or the autumnal equinox. But I want you to read the stories of these Sabbats, these holidays, and explore your connection with the earth. They keep showing me that at this time you're entering into a time of spiritual growth that's going to bring you a lot of power, a lot of peace, but it's grounded in the ancient mythologies. I want you to explore those, okay? Thanks for being at my channel. Oh my gosh, guys, think about it, I was really, really tired. It's been a long day. But I wouldn't want to miss you. And I thank you for those of you who are up late watching this. And if you don't see this till tomorrow, know that I didn't want to forget you today. You guys are best. Anyways, I'm going to get ready and go to bed here. I got my lucky Buddha with me, and I'm going to sleep just fine. I send you guys my blessing. May you have a wonderful night. Be here tomorrow on Wednesday. What's Wednesday? Wiccan Wednesday. And it'll be Lammas. So we're going to talk about that. We'll see you then. I love you guys. Blessed be.